before you sell your car, before you junk your car. Ask yourself one question. What if it wasn't the engine? I'm gonna have to take you back to how all this started. About a year earlier, someone recommended I sell the car. I asked if there were any other options. A junkyard engine swap was attempted. It turned out to be the wrong engine. The car never even ran. At that point, the project stopped. Later, I had a mobile mechanic come and look at it. He noticed the wiring had been cut. He also told me the engine was no good. He sent me a listing for another engine though, so I contacted the seller myself. They told me that wasn't the right engine either. There was a price difference, but that didn't matter. I wanted this fixed. I found a shop, gave them half the labor money, same time placed the order for the new engine. Shortly after the engine arrived, the shop contacted me again. They told me that they found multiple pulled and cut wires that needed to be repaired before the installation could be completed. They also recommended repairing a few additional parts while the engine was out. I approved the repairs because I wanted the job done right. After the engine was replaced and the additional repairs were completed, I finally got the car back. For a while, everything seemed normal. Then one day, the check engine light came back. Not long after that, the car shut off again. Damn. I had it towed back to the same shop. The next diagnosis pointed to the transmission. Every time I thought we'd found the answer, another problem appeared. Another diagnosis, another estimate, another repair. At that point, I was still trusting the process, but this time, the diagnosis changed. I was told the transmission had failed. They recommended replacing the transmission along with additional repairs while the transmission was out. I approved the repairs, ordered the transmission. By this point, I was beginning to wonder if we were actually fixing the problem or just replacing parts trying to find it. I purchased a complete AC kit and had the shop install it. The car started shaking again shortly after the AC kit was installed. I took the car back to the shop and they recommended replacing the motor mounts. So I took it to the dealer after that. I needed a second opinion. The dealer confirmed I needed mounts. So I purchased the mounts and had the same shop install them. I mentioned that the dealer spoke of a leaking water pump, dirty coolant, so the shop made those repairs too. By this point, a lot had already been done to this car. The engine had been replaced. The transmission had been replaced. The starter had been replaced. New brakes. The water pump had been replaced. Brand new AC kit installed. The motor mounts had been replaced. I had a decision to make. I could keep taking the car back, or I could start troubleshooting it myself. As an electrician, that's how I've learned how to solve problems. Not by replacing parts until something works, but by following the evidence. Yeah, I'm something like an electrician. A vibration can come from a lot of things. Engine mounts, ignition, fuel, air, electrical. The challenge is separating symptoms from causes. I wasn't looking to prove anyone wrong. I wasn't trying to blame anyone. I just wanted to understand why this engine was still misfiring after everything that had already been replaced. So instead of guessing, I bought my own scan tool. That was the day I stopped depending solely on repair invoices and started collecting my own data.
There are a lot of people with their own stories to tell. Now, whether or not they would have come forward with those stories, we don't know. Maybe this wasn't a secret that one settlement agreement could contain. And maybe that is the real lesson here. People sometimes think a settlement agreement can erase what happened. It can't. It can resolve legal claims. It can end litigation, at least the current litigation. It can exchange money for a release of claims. And sometimes it can buy you peace. Sometimes that peace is short-lived, though. But it cannot erase the past. It cannot erase witnesses, and it can't erase evidence.
It's the first stop on we doing like a little 200-mile run. Got quite a bit to go. I'm just checking out the range. I had over 3 something when I started. Just gonna get that thing under 100. So no shaking. The car actually feels like it's turned off. It's so quiet and so stable when it's on. Like right now, I know it's on, but you don't feel nothing. So that's a good thing right there. Let's see what the engine look like. Shit. Sounded like quiet. No shaking, no codes. All right, we already did a cold start. We just checked it out, no codes, you know, just besides the airbag and the ABS braking system. I'm not really worried about that. Let's do a hot start. We just drove about 30, you know, maybe 40 miles. Let's see what she do. That's what I want to see right there. Yeah, I'm more than halfway through the trip right here. This is my second to last scan, and everything looking good. You know, I drove it in automatic about a good 80 miles. Then I ended up driving about another 80 miles in sport mode. Went through all 6 gears with no problem, keeping it lit. Alright, home stretch. No CEL, no shaking, no hesitation. I mean, when I'm stopped at a light, it barely feel like the car wrong. I promise you. I can smell that Freon leaking. That's why my AC don't work. It should leak somewhere in there. I can smell it. No shaking, no hesitation, no CEL. I called this channel Harnessed Energy long before I repaired this harness. Funny how life works. Sometimes the answer isn't more power. It's restoring the path the power travels.